was a kid, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old, one morning, my dad woke me up really, really early. The sun wasn't out yet, it was just starting to come up, so it must have been like 5 or 6 in the morning. He woke my brother and I up, my older brother, and he said, "Get dressed, let's go." I'm like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Just get dressed, let's go in the car now." so so I was a little confused, kind of like, huh, what's going on? We ate breakfast really quickly. My grandfather was also there as well. And we jumped in the car and we drove. Well, my dad drove out of the city. And I was still confused as to where we were going. I fell asleep in the car. I remember that, my brother and I. But when I woke up, my dad tapped me on the shoulder and I woke up. He's like, "Okay, we're here." And I'm like, "Where are we?" I look around and there's this very picturesque farm-like imagery. I was like, "Okay, we're going to the farm. That's cool. I kind of like the farm. I enjoy exploring. I'd enjoyed animals." So I still didn't know what we were doing there. So I asked my dad, "Hey Dad, what are we doing here? Why are we here so early in the morning?" And he goes to me, "Well, we're gonna it's hard to talk about, you guys. Okay, he goes, "Well, we're gonna kill a goat so that we can eat it." Okay, I'm like, "We're gonna kill a goat?" So I got out of the car with my brother. Me and my brother were kind of just looking at each other like, what's going on here? We walk up to this open area with fenced in area, and inside of it were a bunch of goats. And my dad and my grandfather told me, "Okay, this is the food that we eat, so this is how we acquire food." And it was very strange, kind of shocking. Maybe a lot of you might not approve of this, but my family grew up on a farm in the Philippines, so this was just the very normal thing for them to do, to slaughter animals to eat for food, to feed the family. So we walked into the fenced in area with all the goats and everything, and they pulled out a goat. This is going to be kind of graphic. I should have disclaimer. I should have captioned it here as a warning. A goat. So my grandfather held the goat while my father slaughtered it in front of me and my brother. And I was like, what is going on here? And I guess my dad wanted to teach me and my brother that this is where our food comes from. This is how their family have survived in the Philippines. And I guess, it was kind of traumatizing, but at the same time, it was a very valuable and special experience for me. So I know I'm going to get a lot of thumbs down for talking about it this way. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to say my dad's a bad parent and whatever, this and that, but tradition in our family, well, at least in my family in the Philippines, is that they lived on a farm, they slaughtered animals to eat. And I guess my dad wanted me to learn about that very, very young in age. So I watched this process. It's something that's very vivid in my mind, but it is a very important lesson to know where we get our food from. A little bit extreme, I know, but it really helped me understand, just who we are and what we eat. Specifically, there is a Filipino dish in the Philippine cuisine that they were slaughtering this goat for, and it's called pinapaitan. That is in the dialect of Filipino that my parents are speaking, but in the main language of Filipino, it's called papait or something like that. I'm not sure, but I know it as pinapaitan. Basically, it is goat meat. It is also using the innards of the goat to make a bitter goat stew. What makes it bitter is the bile in the intestines and the, bile in the liver, I believe. I could be mistaken. Also, it uses the intestines, the lungs, all of the organs that people usually throw away. People in my culture, we eat that. Back to the story. The whole point of this is that whole imagery that I just explained to you is what this fragrance smells like to my nose. It's from the house of Dusita Paris, and it's called Oudh Infini. So, I know it's a little bit of a shocking kind of story. I needed to tell you this story so that I can explain to you how I related to this fragrance. It really touched me emotionally. It kind of shocked me at the same time. It made me almost cry. Not because... Okay. It made me cry because it just brought up memories of growing up as a child with my brother and my family and having them all around me. And as you all know, I live in Holland and my family is all in Canada, so I don't know why I'm crying. So whenever I have something that will remind me of something in my past, fragrance related, it really means a lot to me. And this fragrance really means a lot to me because it really brought me back to that time of when my father was trying to teach me about life and where we get our food. And this is the way things are. Yes, it's extreme. A lot of you will think that it's inappropriate for a child to see that kind of thing. Fine. But in my culture, it's like the most normal thing to slaughter animals for food to eat. Whew. Okay, so yeah, that was a little bit of a challenging story for me to tell you guys, but I really needed to tell you guys because it's so important for you. I believe it's so important to find fragrances that appeal to you on a more emotional level rather than just smelling a fragrance, like spraying it on your skin and smelling it and thinking, oh, this is good, I think I should buy it. Or, oh, this sucks. I mean, you have to, if you're really heavily into this hobby, I think it's more important to try to relate to fragrances on a more emotional level. Now, if you just don't care about that kind of thing and you just want to smell good or you just want to get laid or whatever, like as if there's such fragrances like that, that's fine. But for me, I think that I've been in this hobby for many, many years now, and I just think that it's not good enough just to smell good anymore. For me, it's more about connecting to a fragrance on a metaphysical kind of level. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but for me, that's what I look for. I look for fragrances that give me memories, whether they're good or bad. Anything that can touch me or transport me and put me into a time machine into my past, I'm all for it. So Oudh Infini is definitely one of those fragrances that comes along very rarely that actually does that to me. All right, so let's get into this fragrance review. Okay, so before I begin, I want to show you the sample that they sent to me. Thank you so much to the people at Dusita Paris for allowing me to test your fragrances. I have reached out to this company, guys, asking them if I would be able to test their fragrances to review. And they were so kind and generous, and they sent me their line, and I am so grateful and so humbled and appreciative that they sent it to me. It was such a pleasure testing all of these fragrances. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. But today I will be focusing on Oudh Infini. Now, before I begin, also I want to mention that I have not looked at any reviews from anywhere, anything, any videos, nothing. I'm going in blind. And let me just show you how this sample looks like. There is a piece of poetry here. There are information on the notes. But how I tested this fragrance is I basically read the poem itself alone just to get some inspiration before testing the fragrance, and I didn't look at anything else. So let me just read you the poem. Dawn in the sky, a tiny stream of gold flows and expands imperceptibly until it covers the whole sky and turns itself into silver. This is a piece by Pissara Umavijani, and this is the late father of the creator of this fragrance, who is Pissara. And she is amazing, you guys, with her creations. I will talk about those at a later time, but beautiful piece of poetry. So I read that. I kind of got a feeling already for the fragrance itself. So this fragrance opens as a very, 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 very animalic musk. I didn't think oud immediately. All I thought was animalic musk. And literally when I smelled it for the first time, it was like very, very intense, and my eyes were like this. I was literally dumbfounded at what I was smelling. It's pretty barnyardy, you guys. So if you're not into the barnyard smells, this might not be for you, but it's not so overly super barnyardy that it might turn you off. For me, it automatically brought me back to my childhood on that farm where the goats were. And I was like, wow, you guys, I just completely like the feeling I got. I was like, it was almost, it's hard to put into words, but I really felt like I was 6 again, 6 years old. Impressionable, young, adventurous, young girl looking for discovery. There is a fecal note in here, you guys. You will smell it. In the opening, it's quite slight, though. It's not so bold yet. It's kind of in the background. But again, I can't get my imagery off the goats and the goat farm. I just can't. And not just a goat farm. You do smell, you know, what you would typically smell at a farm, like cow manure, bales of hay, green grass, other animals. I also get a very nice wispy wind in this fragrance that kind of just washes over all of those notes, blending them together into a very beautiful experience. That's what it was. It's not just a beautiful smell, it's a beautiful experience. After 5 minutes, you guys, that big intense opening really, really calmed down really quickly. I still get the fecal note in there. I say fecal note, but I guess it's a combination of oud and musk. And I did look at the notes here after I tested it, and there is some civet in here. So I think that this fecal smell is coming from those 3 things: oud, musk, and civet. At the same time, though, there is kind of a very, very small tinge of something that reminds me of shampoo. I know that's weird, you guys, but very, very intriguing, very interesting, very... it's just, I don't know, guys. It's really dumbfounding me for real. You can tell that this is a very, very high quality fragrance with high quality ingredients. There's no messing around here. This bottle costs 400 euros or 395 euros for a 50 ml. It is a extrait de parfum. I'll show you guys the photo of the bottle if you guys can see that. So yes, really dark juice. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's very, very expensive, but you can just tell just by the smell of it that this is really, really high quality stuff. There are notes of oud and rose in here in the top notes. In the mid, there's benzoin and sandalwood, and in the base, there's vanilla, musk, and civet. So I usually don't mention notes that much, but I think that if I did in this case, then you guys can get a better idea of what this fragrance might smell like instead of me just telling you that it smells like a goat farm. In the dry down, there's this beautiful, beautiful sweetness that emerged from my skin, and I'm like, okay. That fecal note really, really died down to almost nothing. You could still smell it very, very slightly in the base, but then it got really, really sweet on my skin, and it was a really nice relief. It was hard work getting through the top and the mid, but the sweetness in the end really, really made me appreciate this fragrance even more, because I think that the beginning stages are really, really challenging, and not in a bad way whatsoever. They're challenging because of the emotional roller coaster that this fragrance put me on. So the sweetness was kind of like a relief. It was kind of like a safe kind of, like a lifeboat to rescue me from, completely breaking down. You do have to wait quite a while for that sweetness though. Because this is an extrait de parfum, it really, really is strong. I would suggest only 1 or 2 sprays, maybe even just at the back of your neck, because it's really, really beast mode, this fragrance. But I guess a few hours in, you will get the sweetness. On my skin, it turned extremely sweet. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely beautiful, you guys. As time went on, I loved this fragrance more and more and more. Whew. This is kind of a difficult review to do. All right, so also as time went on in the dry down, there's this beautiful woodsy accord that also appeared on my skin. That fecal note went down further even more. I still have it here, and I sprayed this yesterday. And I'm still smelling it. It's the most beautiful blend, beautiful aroma of a sweet vanillic woods on my skin. That's extremely, extremely soft. And what kind of soft? I would say almost marshmallowy soft. That kind of squishy soft. That's the softness that I get on my skin. The sweetness is the sweetness doesn't resemble the sweetness that you would find in a marshmallow, but I'm just saying that consistency of it being really soft and powdery, that's what I feel on my skin. And again, the fecal note slowly, slowly disappears, and this beautiful cloud of sweet vanilla, sandalwood, or some kind of woods comes in. It's a very, very smooth fragrance. This fragrance will definitely challenge you. It's very, very creamy in the dry down as well. It's very sweet as well, but not like this cotton candy sweet that a lot of us are used to, especially if you like gourmands. It's a sweetness that I have a hard time explaining because I have not experienced this blend of vanilla or sweetness in any other fragrance ever before. And I've smelled many, many fragrances. It's extremely sexy in my opinion. It's, like I said, it's 395 euros, so it is kind of out of my price range. But if I ever found 395 euros on the street somewhere, I would totally I would totally go for this bottle and get it. So you guys, that was my review on Oudh Infini from the house of Dusita. Please, you guys, if you have a chance to test it at least, please go for it. I would really like to know if any of you have tried this fragrance. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. I am completely blown away by this fragrance, and actually I'm completely blown away by the whole entire house. So I will be talking about the other fragrances at a later time. It's just that I tested this yesterday and I had to immediately shoot a video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more. And I also want to thank the people at Dusita Paris once again for sending me these samples to review. I'm very, very humbled, appreciative, as I already said, and you guys, just keep what you're doing there. Keep it up, because I am loving this house and I'm loving your fragrances so, so much. All I gotta do is make sure I fatten up my money pig so that I can one day buy one of them. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.